Hello everybody, and we're back with the second round coverage of the 2018 Veterans Park Memorial presented by Legacy Discs and Kratom. For Crush Boys commentary, got beside me Simon Lizotte, and how you're feeling this morning?
Feeling pretty good. I had a fun birthday night. Went to see some bluegrass live in concert, and my first kind of country music live experience. Or does bluegrass count as country music?
Not really. Not really.
Well, that just shows how educated I am about this. But it was really fun. We stayed out till like 2. And now it's 9:30 in the morning and we're doing commentary, so I'm ready.
Cool. And we're starting off on hole 1. It's a par 4, 565 feet. And we'll announce some of the card mates we're going to be showing here. So teeing off first, we have Nolan Grider, Texas legend. He's played this tournament probably more than anyone else, and he's widely known in the DFW area. And he pretty much throws it right in the landing zone that you want. Nothing too special, but he's looking at the basket. I'm taking a PD2 here, just kind of throwing a hyzer right in that landing zone. There's nothing really too special about those shots, but it's all about setting yourself up. Now we have Luke Humphries. He's the AM World Champion, actually. He's like 1,003 rated now, I believe. So, making his way on the scene, super solid player from the Texas area. And teeing off, this guy's the real deal. Emerson Keith. Well known around the Texas area. And if you look at his PDGA page, you'll notice that the amount of tournaments this guy plays is insane. Last year, he played 72 tournaments in a year.
Last year, 70 in a year?
72. Coming up, I think, 2 short of the record, which is...
Wait, how many weekends is there in a year?
There's 54. So he's playing a lot of flex start C tiers, multiple events a weekend if he can. It's a pretty crazy stat.
Wow.
But you'll see he makes fun of himself for it, but he's a pretty short guy, but he can rip the disc. He has a sports background in like hockey, so his explosivity is really impressive. We see Emerson, he puts it under the basket and he'll have a legitimate chance at it too. Almost a certain chance at it too.
And Luke, yeah, he went to the concert with us last night. So I got to know him a bit. Really cool guy.
Nice putt there by Nolan, getting the birdie. He's probably birdied this hole more than anyone else has birdied this hole.
More than anyone else has ever played this hole.
For sure. Luke with the lone par. And then we'll be moving on to hole number 2. We have hole 2, par 3, 334 feet. Just kind of a straight, wide tunnel shot. It's all about throwing your mid-range fairway driver, flat, maybe a little check at the end. It's really one that you want to get. Nolan's up first. He's got a 11-time T-bird in the bag. Throws it so well. Good flex. He comes up just short, but he's well inside the circle.
Yeah, we had really good conditions today. It was a little breezier, especially once we got out to the back 12 today. So we're playing 24 holes. 6 temp holes out in the open, and the wind was a huge factor. And yeah, this was my birthday round today, so I was just kind of out there just having fun and trying to keep smiling.
Well, it was your birthday, so of course you were smiling. That's the rule. Emerson throws up the gut. He finds himself a little bit right, a little bit long. Should be about circle's edge. And Luke here, he turns it a little bit. He's going to be on the right side of the fairway with 55 feet to the basket. Doesn't quite get enough energy on that one. And Emerson puts it a little bit high.
But in style.
Yeah, he definitely gave that one a run. And he'll have about a 20-foot comebacker. No problem for him. There's that 72 tournament experience showing.
That's unbelievable. He must love disc golf so much.
Do you love disc golf?
Not 70 tournaments a year much.
That's dedication right there.
I love it 20 to 25 tournaments a year.
I like it about that much too. So fun fact for you guys, Nolan actually putts with an old school Innova disc, an Arrow. And it's, I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe it's a bigger diameter than other disc golf discs. And he just makes it look so smooth. His stroke is so slow, but it's just so effective. I mean, he's been playing for over 20 years, so playing disc golf to him is almost like walking. It's just so natural. Moving on to hole 3, we have a par 4, 520 feet. This is an island hole. You want to throw your shot kind of out in this field. Get as much distance on it as possible, and then your approaching shot, you'll have the option to go up this initial gap here, or you can opt for an over-the-top shot of sorts, grenade, or a high spike hyzer. Pretty difficult shot here because you're forced to make a decision from your second shot. And from the tee, we're feeling a little bit of headwind. So Nolan goes, I imagine, an overstable destroyer of sorts. I'm throwing an S-line PD2 here, and it just kind of gets shoved down by the wind. But the location it landed in isn't too bad.
Wow, Nolan outdrove you.
He throws far.
Oh, really?
Far.
And Emerson throws far.
Pound for pound, Emerson might be one of the farthest throwing people. He falls into the category with like a Manabu Kajiyama, Paige Pierce. They're smaller people, but they definitely don't show it by their size. Luke putting a good move on it. It's difficult from there because he might have a pinched off angle, so he's going to have to throw kind of a weird hyzer if he chooses the inside gap. Emerson going up the gut, and this is on the line, safe. Wow. Crazy shot when I walked up there, and it was literally touching the line. And I'm a little bit too scared and too much of a baby to go for it because I was in a weird position, and I just really didn't feel like taking a bogey.
Playing is winning.
Simon's shaking his head as I say that.
So you came to lay up?
I came to lay up. Nolan did not. He cures the gap, puts it on the island. It's probably 15 feet from the basket. And here's that pinched off shot by Luke, but he parks it. Little tree love right there.
Yeah, great little kick.
So I'm the only person that didn't make the island. So I'm feeling a little bit left out right now.
I also didn't make it. You feel better?
Well, you don't count. You're not on the card.
Oh.
And this is Emerson from being on the line, converting a birdie. Well done.
Emerson looks like a guy who never gets mad. He just looks like he'll smile it off.
He is a smiley guy. Same with Nolan. He's super chill. He's out there to have fun, enjoy himself. All these guys on the card are pretty level-headed.
Except you.
Except me. I was waiting for that. We have hole 4, par 3, 239 feet. Over the top is the shot here. Sidearm, backhand spike, Scooby, thumber. It's really all about spiking down right where the green is. There's a little bit of an open area there. And luckily, a lot of the shots kind of filter there just by the way the slope shapes of the basket. Nolan is opting for a Proline Monster Thumber. And this just gets away from him, pushes a little bit long.
This hole is just all about distance control. You can't see the basket. If you haven't played it a bunch of times, then you're kind of just like guessing. The wind is out there like swirling over those trees. It's just, I don't know. It's a gamble hole for me.
Emerson going with a Lucid X Enforcer. Spiking down. He's probably 25 from the basket. Maybe a little bit less. Luke doing the same. Good shot there. Going for a Metal Flake Max sidearm spike hyzer.
Oh, you like that one.
And I'm trying to hunt the basket, but it's blind off the tee, so you don't really know where it is.
Is he playing with the driver there?
Yeah, one thing that Nolan does is he's not afraid to kind of throw approach shots, like putting style with the driver. Something that's kind of unique about his game. Luke from about 20. Cleaning up his birdie. And right as I'm throwing this putt, there's a little bit of headwind, and I'm scared.
But you don't look scared.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm just using a new putter now. So like, I don't have full trust in it, opposed to the other ones that have been in my bag. But luckily it's coming around and I'm getting the feel for it. So this hole is hole 5, par 3, 349 foot downhill shot. Really all about throwing a high hyzer, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, and spiking in kind of in this open area.
Yep, I gotta give a shout out to Coda Hatfield, who stole my birthday ace on this hole. He threw it out there and freaking slammed those chains, and it stuck. Amazing.
Emerson has the right idea, but there's a pretty hard left to right wind right there. So if you look at that shot, you can tell it kind of got pushed a little bit right and further away from the basket than he might like. So I'll be in the bushes, kind of forcing him to scramble. And Luke kind of does the same thing, but he falls in a better position. He's kind of right on the edge right there. And I'm trying to throw a max hard and high, but it still just pushes it right. This hole is really difficult to gauge because there's always some sort of weird wind.
Whoops.
Nolan thought this monster was a little bit more overstable than it actually is. But he's still close to the basket, but in the shoal.
Yeah, being close to the basket on this hole doesn't really mean much.
Emerson forcing to completely stretch himself out. And that kind of a chance of going in if it didn't hit that branch. I'm right on the edge here. I was actually really happy that I even hit basket there.
Really happy?
I was very happy. I had a party afterwards.
Nice.
Your birthday party.
A metal party.
Metal party. So all these guys will look to clean up their threes.
My card beat your card by 5 on that hole.
Your card beat us by 5 on that hole. Why wasn't Jomez filming you guys? Moving on to hole 6.
Wow, good comeback, good comeback.
We have par 3, 379 feet. The pin position actually moved from the previous day, and it's pushed back probably a good 40 feet, but down the hill. It really changes the shot, in my opinion. If you're throwing a forehand or even a backhand, you really just got to push it straight and have it fade left at the very last second. And what Emerson's doing here is exactly that, and he gets a great kick off that rock and a great branch to pretty much park him. That's a great shot.
I didn't know that hole was parkable. That looks like my shot.
Yeah, that's a very common mistake on that hole. Just because you don't want to pull it right, because if you find yourself hitting some of the branches on the right side of the fairway, it's really not the spot you want to be. I like opting for the forehand just because it plays against the grain. And I give myself a look right there. I thought it got a little bit slapped down, but I'm happy to see where it landed. And Nolan fading left, skipping down the hill. He'll be in the open for the most part, so that's a plus.
Yeah, I had this exact upshot, and the wind was pushing right to left, and I threw it a bit too high, kind of trying to make it from there, and it just basically took the wind and went all the way down the hill.
Luke really doesn't throw his best shot. Kind of short, forcing him to throw a little flick putter approach. For me, whenever I have to do that, it just feels terrible. It's like, that's last resort.
Sidearm putting is hard. Great putt, right in the middle of the too high.
Right in the middle of the too high. It stayed in somehow. Emerson capitalizing. Great putt by him. Great shot by him.
Emerson's getting on a little roll here. He's already 4 down through 6.
Mm-hmm.
Or is he 5 down through 6?
That's a great question, and I wish I knew the answer to that. But if you guys are like closely paying attention, you know the right statistic. Hole 7, par 3, 390 feet. Another pin location that has changed from the previous round. This pin is pushed further right. It's a little bit more direct. I'd say it's a little bit easier to access. But you pretty much want to throw a laser line, straight backhand, laser line forehand. Just kind of push it up against that hill. And Emerson's opting for a forehand. And this is kind of the shot you want right here.
Wow.
Just a forward penetrating forehand. And he is well inside the circle, putting uphill. It's a great shot. And I saw Emerson's line, and I'm trying to replicate it somewhat. I get a little bit high, and I'll have a putt, but it's not as nice as Emerson's shot.
Nolan just throwing his T-bird again?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Pushes his bit right, but he's a little bit pinched off. He might be able to work with his spot, though. Forehand, getting a good lift, even better lift, and hell of a putt as well. So Nolan will be up first, looking at about 45 to 50 uphill. Hits the pole and flutters, and it does not roll away.
That's amazing, because that's a real steep hill.
39 feet uphill.
And I can tell you were extremely surprised that happened.
I was surprised it happened.
I birdied it too, and I was also really surprised.
I was like, heck yeah. Bonus birdie. Pulling it a bit right. Emerson's close here. And great birdie by him. The 2 past holes are really difficult, and in order to birdie both of them, that's pretty impressive. That's getting strokes on the field right there. I think I like the right position a little bit more than the left on this one. Hole 8, par 3, 395-foot, uphill shot. You have a couple different gaps you can take. Up the gut, hyzer route, over the top, flex forehand. It's all about what works for you. And it's really a bonus birdie. It's kind of right outside anyone's like comfortable distance. So it's all about just getting through these trees and seeing what happens. Emerson going big forehand and getting through the trees, hitting the one, and then finding himself behind the bush. He got a lot of good distance on that, but just not quite enough.
Yeah, this hole is a complete bonus birdie. Unless you have a 500-foot sky hyzer, it's pretty much a bonus birdie.
I got that way too high, but I was surprised that I even got to where I did. Nolan puring the low gap. It's a great shot, but he's still like 55, 60 short. Luke trying to throw a similar line to Nolan, and that's the risk you take going for that route. A forehand approach, pushes a little bit right. Nolan making the bullseye. It's impressive right there. There's some sort of extra point for him that doesn't count towards his tournament. Little stall approach with Emerson. I'm probably right at circle's edge. I have a whipping tailwind.
Ooh.
And
you're angry.
No, I'm not angry.
You just picked that mini up with passion.
A little bit of passion, but I'm here for fun. I don't care if I make it or miss it.
Really?
Actually, I do. But that's what I like to tell everybody.
Do you know you're tied for the lead at this point?
I don't.
You don't know?
No, I don't want to know right now. Not for this tournament. I just want to have fun. For this tournament. I'll let my competitive, passionate self back out at next year.
Next year in Vegas.
Hey, thank you, buddy.
It's going down.
Fine up Friday.
Hole number 9, par 3, 247 feet. Little chip backhand hyzer. Kinda, you can go low, kind of with a putter with a slight fade, or you can kind of go a little bit higher, taking something with a little bit more spike, disc with less glide. Either one will work. It's all about just kind of trusting your disc on this hole. And there's a little bit of a right to left wind happening. So if you notice, these shots are getting pushed hard left. I go super spiky, gets caught up in the wind, and hits a tree and places it inside the circle. I knew it was a bad shot, but I was happy with the result. Nolan looks like he's trying to get out of that wind, but pulls a little bit right. He'll be short right in the rough.
That looks really good.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much what you want. Kind of a slow shot that kind of falls right near the basket. Nolan doing all he can. And a little surprising right there. It's been pretty hot, but there is some wind right there, so I don't fault him. There was a headwind from where he was looking at.
You thanking the tree?
Yep. Me being the tree hugger I am. Luke with the 2.
Luke's playing in that little, what do you call those? Like little slippers.
Little slippers? They're not slippers. They're actually Adidas Terrex shoes.
Really?
Yeah. We have hole 10, par 3, 291 feet uphill. You want to throw a high shot that fades left or spikes in. From the tee pad, there's a little bit of a trick. If you're staying on there, there's this dead tree on the left. So if you can throw your shot and pretty much land in line with that dead tree, it's kind of right where the basket is. So you can kind of see it, what I'm talking about from that angle there. I'm actually curious to see what happens here. A little spoiler. Oh my gosh, this is so unlucky. Right next to the basket, just slow roll out of bounds. Oh no. That did not feel good because everyone was like, oh my gosh, Eagle, you almost aced it. And now I know what happened. Let's see if Luke cannot get the terrible luck that I did. He spikes in, and that's a great shot. Emerson going with the super high line. I believe that to be a defender. And it thought about rolling, but it curled. Good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him.
Nolan put a little bit of nose up on that disc, but that tailwind really didn't like it. So it kind of shoved him down.
Yeah, it looks like Nolan is just like barely missing the lines and then having kind of to lay up for pars.
So I'm far away. And I really did not want to bogey this. And somehow I got lucky and it went in.
Playing it cool. I like it.
I was so excited when it went in. I was jumping for joy. Emerson with a good 2.
I think he went through the 6-foot gap. It's on video.
6-foot gap? What is he talking about?
I don't know. They were giving each other a hard time.
The old 6-foot gap too.
So we have 2 birdies and 2 pars on this hole. Pretty typical stats, I'd say. Now we have hole 11, par 3, 300 feet. The star hole. You can go up the middle where the drone's flying through, or there's a lot of open airspace from off the tee pad. So if you have a tomahawk or a thumber, that's a very viable option as well.
Very cool looking green, you gotta say.
So Texas, I love it. And it's going to be getting a little bit more windy because we're going to be getting out to the open holes now, and you'll start noticing some shots being significantly affected by the wind.
Well, that looks perfect.
That's like a Sexton sidearm right there. Like going the route that not everyone takes, but you know that you're playing to your strengths and you're comfortable with that. That was beautiful. And I was happy with this shot, but the fact that it landed there, I wasn't that happy with it.
That made perfect sense.
Like, it felt good out of my hand, but I wasn't happy with the result. Nolan finding himself probably just outside the Starkle. Is that bad? No, that does not work.
This hole is weird. Like, it's so short and right there in front of you, but somehow it doesn't feel like a must yet, especially in this wind.
And you always airball it. That's like the rule on this hole. Or at least I always airball it.
I did too. Did I? Yes, I did.
just this little elevation, it's kind of weird. Like, you don't think of it being an elevated basket just because it's not that far off the ground, but it definitely plays like it. Here's a comebacker that I'm kind of terrified about. I was putting straight into a headwind. And Emerson, he's a star. Right inside where you want to be.
Do you know how old Emerson is?
I want to say he's 19 to 22.
Oh, you really don't know. Okay.
But he's young. I know that for sure. Nolan caged his putt, but he fell in. I don't know if you guys saw that. Hole 12, par 3, 557 feet. Wide open. The Texaco hole. Previous round I said Taxico, and everyone's giving me a hard time for it. So I want to apologize for that. Texaco. That's a little bit better. But yeah, it's pretty much wide open. Throw it as far as you want. There is OB on the left, a little OB on the right, but with a little bit of accuracy, you shouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, this hole was cool because we have a straight tailwind that makes it extremely reachable.
Tailwind or not, this is parked, and I can't believe it. He's past the basket. Guys, Emerson is like, I'll give him 5'6", but he probably actually is like 5'5". He throws so far for his height and just far in general. Like, this is insane. Such a good shot. Some of the years they play this as a par 4. Great shot, Emerson. I'm just putting a hyzer on it, and I get a mega skip. Same spot as I was previous round. Nothing too special. Nolan throwing a streamlined shot, looking to get a little bit of skip.
A little bit of skip.
A lot of skip. That's a little bit of skip.
On this hole, you can really count on if you have it low and on the right angle, it'll skip just as far as it flew.
Luke with a little bit of skip right there. He'll find himself probably 100 to 150 from the basket. Just looking for a little forehand approach. Some person kind of doing a weird walk in the back.
What is that in the back?
I don't know. This is a putt that I want to run, and I'm trying to get a little bit of run, but I have a strong right to left wind, and I never know what's going to happen on those. So I chicken out and put it next to the basket. But on the other hand, Emerson's going to run this putt, and he's going to get a 2. And get a stroke on everyone on the card, and probably most people in the field.
Wow, Emerson just making this course look really easy.
I want to bring something up. I don't know.
You're tied.
Yeah. He's great. It's crazy. He's shredding. I want to bring something up. Some of you people might know the band, the progressive rock band, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Emerson Keith, one of the guys' names for Emerson, Lake and Palmer is Keith Emerson. So it's kind of funny. So it looks like we have our second round front 12 concluded. Emerson making hot moves right now. He's on fire. This is Crush Boys commentary, and we'll be back with you guys for the back 12.